Welcome to the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology virtual board meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, we will play a short video to explain procedures for this virtual meeting and how members of the public can participate and interact with the board.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing virtual board meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing virtual board meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
But first, as a reminder to the public, if you're accessing this meeting by internet, to view the meeting and provide oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use the pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in any email format, such as your blank name at anyemail.com. Your microphone will automatically be muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may link the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about the agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their phone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your phone before speaking and mute your phone after you finish speaking. Access by phone. If you cannot get internet access, you may use audio-only access by calling the Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted to the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate that you want to testify by entering star, then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star, then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star, then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you have finished speaking, please enter star, then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and your organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony. We'll call this meeting to order. I will now conduct a roll call of the board members. When your name is called, please state that you are present and state if you are alone and if there are any other individuals present at your location. I'm Margaret Williams and I'm alone. Raynette Hall,
Present and alone.
Michael.
Present and alone.
Michael Basta Jr. is present and alone. Leslie Murata,
Leslie Murata is present and alone.
thanks. And Jamie is excused. Okay. Now, we need to approve the session minutes of the public minutes of the meeting of September 12th, 2023 meeting. There are some changes in the meeting in that the results of the NIC numbers are incorrect, and the executive secretary will give us the correct numbers.
Yes, thank you, Margaret. Board members, I apologize. I'm going to give corrected passing, fail, the pass number, the failed number, and corrected percentages. So I will read out only the ones that need correction. Is that accurate? Okay, so I'll read out the ones that need correction. May 2023 barber exam, 3 passed. Cosmetology exam, 12 passed, 5 failed, 43% passing rate. Esthetician, 20 passed, 13 failed, 62% passing rate. Hairdresser, 2 passed, 2 failed. Instructor, 2 passed. Nail technician, 12 passed, 6 failed. June 2023, the corrections are as follows. Barber exam, 2 passed, 5 failed, 28% passing rate. Cosmetology, 12 passed, 7 failed. The esthetician, 21 passed, 9 failed. Hairdresser, 1 passed. Instructor, 0 passed, 0 failed. Nail technician, 4 passed, 2 failed, 67% passing rate. July 2023 corrections are as follows. Barber exam, 4 passed, 2 failed. Cosmetology, 6 passed, 12 failed. Esthetician, 21 passed, 10 failed. Hairdresser, 2 passed, 1 failed. Instructor, 0 passed, 0 failed, 0 passing rate. Nail technician, 5 passed, 1 failed. August 2023 corrections are as follows. Barber, 5 passed, 4 failed, 55% passing rate. Cosmetology, 6 passed, 14 failed. Esthetician, 21 passed, 21 failed. That seems wrong. Is that right? Yeah, that's correct. Sorry. 21 passed, 21 failed. Hairdresser, 3 passed, 2 failed. Instructor, 0 passed, 0 failed, 0 passing. Nail technician, 3 passed, 7 failed. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on the public minutes?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide oral testimony.
We have one amendment to the board meeting open session minutes. Is there a motion to approve the board session, the public session minutes with amendment? Can I have a motion to approve with
Motion
amendment?
to approve Raynette Hall
With,
with the amendments.
okay, do we have a second?
Let's move up a second. With
Okay,
amendments.
all in favor, say yes.
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 Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Then the minutes are accepted and we're on to, oh, all opposed, I'm sorry. Nobody. Then the motion is carried. Now, we have adjudicatory matters, Chapter 91. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on this agenda item?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide oral testimony.
Okay. Does the executive session take over?
Yeah, so the board will now recess for chapter 91 adjudicatory matters.
I
Um,
appreciate.
Thank you. So we are going to go into teams. We're going to close here. Yes, we're going to ask you to step out and we'll come back out again. We're going to come back. Board members, if you could please turn off your cameras, mute your microphones, and we'll see you in teams.
Leanna, how do I get to Teams? Sorry, this is Lei.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lei. We'll have Kai send you an email. Did you get one from her for Microsoft Teams?
I don't know. I got this one. I can go back. So I'll get out of this and check. How's that?
Yeah, and then if not, call me on my cell.
Okay.
Okay. Board members, can you hear us?
Yes.
Can someone say something so we can see if we can hear you?
Yes.
Hello?
Hear me?
Okay, so we cannot hear you. Hold on a second. Where is the speaker? Where does the sound come out from this vessel? Sorry. Speaker's not working. Please check your connection or use a different speaker. So this is for Teams. That's Teams. Yeah, that's okay. What's that? Can I go to audio? Click the carrot, please. This carrot? The carrot, the little carrot, the thing that points upward. You know what? I'll come over here and help you. There you go. Oh, that was wrong. Yeah. Usually don't know what it is. Hi, everyone. Can you hear us now? Renee?
Yes.
Thank
can.
you so much. We're gonna get degrees in information technology here. Okay. Okay, we're back, Chair.
Margaret. You're on mute.
Margaret, dear, you're on mute. You're muted. Did you unmute yourself?
Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
all good. I'm sorry. But it's your turn. The executive officer will provide a report.
Awesome, thank you, Margaret.
Ah,
Before we continue, just one real quick statement. When we approved the minutes, did we also approve the executive board meeting, the executive meeting?
Just the open session minutes, we're on. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's not,
Everyone's finished.
okay.
Thank you. All right, so back in our chart, these are the exam results for September 2023. Barber, 9 candidates examined, 33% passed, 67% failed. Cosmetology, 17 candidates examined, 53% passed, 47% failed. Estheticians, 45 candidates examined, 49% passed, 51% failed. Hair, no candidates examined. Instructor, no candidates examined. Nail technician, 9 candidates examined, 22% passed, 78% failed. For October 2023, barber exam, 11 candidates examined, 45% passed, 55% failed. Cosmetology, 22 candidates examined, 36% passed, 64% failed. Esthetician, 37 candidates examined, 54% passed, 46% failed. Hair, 5 candidates examined, 100% passed,
Instructor, 1 candidate examined, 100% passed. Nail technicians, 13 candidates examined, 54 candidates passed, and 54% passed and 46% failed. And that is all we have there. Then the 2024 meeting dates have been provided to you. They're in your packet. So please mark your calendars for those dates. We will again meet quarterly. If necessary, we can add meetings.
Mhm.
Still just trying to juggle with our staffing shortages and all the other fun things.
How about we got something already planned for that day?
We can talk about, we have to just make sure we have quorum. So if we need to move the meetings around, we can.
Okay. I'll just email you the dates. I'll email everybody the dates that actually only one date. So I'll email you guys and you can discuss that later.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. And is that all I have for you? Yes, that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Okay. We're moving on to licensing. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on this agenda item?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide oral testimony.
Okay, so we brought this item to you. It's based on the grandfathering clause for barbers. As you're aware, the previous law was 1,500 hours for apprenticeships, 1,500 hours for barber school. With the new HRS 439A, it is now 3,000 hours apprenticeship and 1,500 hours barber school. There was a grandfather clause built in Act 073 that allowed for individuals who had already registered and started their barber apprentice prior to July 1, 2023 to only be required to do the 1,500 hours, so long as they applied for their exam before next summer.
Mhm.
Our situation we want you to weigh in on is this. Some individuals who were registered as a barber apprentice prior to this summer, prior to the change in the law, were apprenticing under a hairdresser or a cosmetologist and were only allowed to train for the hairdressing portion of their barber license apprenticeship. They now have to apply for a second apprenticeship to get the shaving and the mustaches done.
And facials.
And facials if they were not with a cosmetologist, they were with a hairdresser. Our question is, technically, it's a new application, a new apprenticeship, because we don't have a way to just change the person's supervisor and allow them to continue. So would you consider this second apprenticeship a continuation of their first apprenticeship and they still only are required to do 1,500 hours? Or is this a brand new, like anybody else apprenticeship and they now have to do 3,000 hours apprenticeship?
Margaret.
Well, the funny thing is the hairdresser apprenticeship is 2,400 hours, I believe, or 1,250, 2,500 hours, 2,500 hours. So if they've completed half of that, then they can do the extra, 250 hours. I can see that.
But Margaret, they're not doing the over 2,000 hours because they're a barber apprentice. It's just that their supervisor is a hairdresser. They were approved for a 1,500 hour barber apprenticeship, and they were doing their hairdressing portion under a hairdresser or cosmetologist. They were not approved for a hairdressing apprenticeship.
They did check off barber when they applied for the apprenticeship.
Yes.
Then I think you have to go with the 250. Let it go, but only until this people who have applied in June, right? They're going to have to do the complete.
Yes, this would only be for the people who had previously been approved and registered as an apprentice before
And they were in a beauty
July
shop.
1, 2023.
I think that'd be great. Yeah, it's only up until July 2023, so I think it's something that can be temporarily. But your paperwork did give me a red flag. It also says that the barber in barber school or a barber student can do 1,500 hours of barbering. That will continue after 2024, correct?
Yes, that hasn't changed. We're
Okay,
only
it
about
looks like
apprentices.
okay. Yes, I would say go ahead and give them the 250 hours, and I hope they're going to be ready and they haven't been slacking.
But Margaret, they were approved for a barber apprentice. They only had to complete 1,500 hours. They did
Right.
not have to complete the 25. So
Right.
So we're not asking them to do, that's the question. Are we going to ask them to do 3,000 hours? Because
If
they
it was-
have to pick up the shaving and barbering mustaches, or are we going to say after 1,500 hours, they're done because they were only completing the apprenticeship that they couldn't do under a hairdresser?
Oh, I know, I understand what you're saying. Yes. I
Why
would
would-
say keep them to the 1,500 hours barbering and be done with it by June of 2024.
Is that a mistake on our side?
Pardon?
So that, I think what Carrie had mentioned, we want to re-articulate, it's not a mistake, it's just that, as far as, paperwork goes, the way things are processed on this site, we don't have a mechanism for a candidate to be able to just change their supervisor for the portion of their apprenticeship. In order to do that, the document is an application. So going, if we anticipate this being very common with barbers, we could develop something, but it's not very common, right? Generally, when you want to be a barber, you're a barber apprenticeship under a barber. But occasionally you get the individual who does the barber hair component under a hairdresser and then goes to the barber for the shaving. Yeah, it just, so because it's not something that comes up very often, we didn't develop a mechanism on the paperwork side to handle that.
Couldn't they just put in another, would they have to pay an application fee? Is that the whole point?
They do.
Well, it's because they have
all-
to feature their supervisor as well, right? Because the supervisor changes,
And sometimes the salon
the
changes.
salon changes, and, they're gonna give it a whole different report, because the barber apprentice, if you had a barber the whole time, you get that one report from the one barber, but now you're changing everything, you're now gonna get reports from someone else. It's just not, it doesn't come up very often, and because of this transition, I think now we're faced with this issue.
Yeah, and after the group of people after everyone who was in a barber apprenticeship prior to July 1, 2023 are done, we'll never see it again because everyone will have to have the 3,000 hours.
Okay.
Barber apprentice. It's just a subgroup of barber apprentices during this transition time.
They applied for barber apprenticeships before June 30th, so they should go through as 1,500. Let them be.
I agree.
They beat the deadline.
In the future, for those who apply for barbering, why isn't it required you learn under a barber? I understand hairdressers learning under a cosmetologist because they've got the full gamut of what you need to learn. But a cosmetologist cannot shave, cannot do those things. Why are we allowing a barber to apprentice under them? It should just be, if you're going to apprentice as a barber, you learn under a barber, not under a hairdresser or a cosmetologist.
Well, this was a decision of the board several years ago that haircutting is haircutting. And a hairdresser or a cosmetologist can teach haircutting. So why can't they teach a barber haircutting? But they can only teach the haircutting portion.
So then they should have applied as a hairdresser, not, or, the hair side, not as a barber.
That would be a discussion for another meeting if
Yeah,
we want
no.
to extend that previous decision.
Yeah, for this one, I think, you guys are, we already let them start as barbers under this, let them finish, but
Barbers.
the,
But
But
who's gonna do the beard, the things that a hairdresser cannot do?
That's
Who's
why
gonna-
you have to file this.
They have to find a barber to teach them.
Yeah, so what he does, and like we said, this is not common, it doesn't happen very often, is they just have to get a new supervisor, right? And the new supervisor would be a barber to do the shaves, and then the facials, because barbers can do the facials, but so can an esthetician. So, cosmetologist, sorry, a cosmetologist. So, I mean, it's most common for you to have one supervisor, but on the occasion, because hairdressing is hairdressing,
Provide a
the,
role.
if the board allowed that, and then you would just change your supervisor to a barber for the shaving and the facial component.
couldn't they do as the supervisor, if say if I have my cosmetology license, I'm teaching someone to be a barber, I bring in a specialist and I am attending while they're learning, is that technically not changing supervisor because I'm still there?
Well, you're getting into the weeds of the law. The law says the cosmetologist cannot do shaving. You're not authorized to do that. So you can't supervise someone who's learning to shave because you're not authorized to shave.
Okay, so there we go. So that's where it should not, I don't think in the future a barber should be allowed to learn from a cosmetologist or a hairdresser if they are going for a barber's license.
Yeah, well,
That-
we could-
I mean,
yeah, when you
but-
folks do the rules and laws again, you folks can definitely go over that.
So that'll take another 4 years. No, I'm kidding.
Because we'll have to look at the rules and laws because it may be in your statute now. We'll have to double check.
Okay,
Okay, all right, so I think, do we need to vote on that, Andrew, or is that just a decision? It's just a decision, we can move on. Consensus of the board, love it. See where I'm at. So, there were no applications for apprentices to review this month, or, applications for license to review this month, or, shop applications this month. There is one application to restore a license this month. Chair, did you want to see if the board wanted to go into executive session to discuss this?
If everyone feels they can vote without executive session, let's not. But if you want to go into an executive session,
I think we have to clarify that in the executive session, a particular
Okay.
statement.
okay, let's go into executive session.
So, Leslie, was that a motion to go into?
Oh, yeah,
exec?
motion to go into executive session.
Rainette Hall second.
Thank you.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, yes.
Oh no, we're going back to that machine. Good luck.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Can you please turn off your cameras, mute your microphones, and we'll see you in Microsoft Teams. Thank you. Thank you.
Raise hand.
Sorry.
Stop video. Okay.
Michael, could you turn your camera on, please?
I am. It's giving me, it's telling me I cannot start the video because the host has stopped it.
Oh, okay. Is someone's
Here we go.
microphone still on in Teams? Could you see if everybody's muted in Teams? We're getting feedback.
Okay, I believe that's it now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Chair?
Okay, we're all four here. It's, let's entertain a motion to approve the recommendations on the applications for the exam and license. Or
So,
restoration of the license. Is there a
Applic-
second? Oh, wait, there's no motion yet. Make a motion on that.
okay, I motion to approve restoration of the license for Chisali Kalani with the NIC exam required.
Les Murata, second.
And you're also approving the recommendations on the ratification list, approving the ratification, yeah?
Yes, including the ratification list.
Very good.
Approving that and less? Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say yes.
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 I forgot I had a point on the ratification list. There's a massage class, a massage shop. Is that a bona fide beauty shop? In the list?
Oh, in the ratification list?
Yes.
Well, we are not approving whatever massage stuff. That's just their name. They probably have a separate massage license, so let me find.
So they can
Which
have that
number
name.
is it? Which
Okay.
number?
I don't know which number. I was just looking at the.
In the shop?
Yes, shop. I'm not seeing it now.
Okay.
Oh, that's November 14 I'm looking at. Yeah, I apologize. It must be the last shop. I mean, the last approval that we did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all in favor to approve
Yeah.
the ratification list and also the examination for Chisali. All
Yes.
approved, say hi.
Yeah.
Any noes? No. The motion's carried. New business requesting approval for online program. Are there any members of the public who would like to provide oral testimony on this agenda item?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide oral testimony.
Really?
Well, no, we have someone on this side, but he was only speaking for the online one. So, yeah, so. Okay,
So there's no one online that wants to provide oral testimony. We do have in person
Oh,
Uko Ho, her attorney, and is that Mr. Ho? Yes. Okay, and Mr. Ho. And they did have a presentation. Before the presentation, I believe that we wanted to discuss one of your slides where you said that to ensure the protected trade secrets of our interactive multimedia checkpoint system, we'd like to do the sharing of information through in-camera feed from this point forward. We do not have the capability of doing that.
And also, it's not an executive session. It still has to be public. We can cut off the PowerPoint at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so when we get to that slide, you want us to stop showing the rest of the slides. Is that
Correct.
correct?
In particular, the system, and versus student safety.
Okay,
And I'll do the presentation on, safety or.
okay. So Mia, are you all prepared to begin your presentation now? Okay. If you'll pull up their presentation and then they'll let us know when to advance the slides and we will stop showing the screen share. I'll let you know when it's time to stop sharing, okay?
Okay, I'll share right now.
Thank you. Okay. And we will be losing our quorum at 1:45, so if you could keep your remarks to 10 minutes, and that will allow the board a chance to ask questions before we have to adjourn. Thank you. Okay, whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and the board. My name is Juice Otsuka, and I represent Honolulu Nail Academy LLC. And from the Nail Academy, we have here Yuka Ho and Eric Ho, corporate representative. And in this approval request, we're basically requesting for this board to approve Honolulu Nail Academy's online course, in particular in the practical application portion of the curriculum. In particular, we're asking the board to approve the practical courses to the extent that the mannequins are involved. And the reason is that we believe that there are no safety issues involving mannequins. And when I mean mannequins, there's a theory part related to the mannequins, and that's also included in the request. And we're also requesting for the approval to the extent that family members are involved. Although this practical application is going to be on live subject, because it's family member, I think there is hardly any risk of any liability issues. And then we're also requesting for, as to the clinical portion, we're requesting for online supervision of students so that the teacher could monitor the student online, except, as opposed to being a live person. I think there's enough safety in the system and the risk is minimal. And we're first going to have Yuko do the presentation, and then afterwards I'll just do briefly presentation on safety issues, and then we'll end.
Okay, hi, my name is Yuko. Thank you for coming today. So the last meeting, I explained a little bit, so I want to shortcut a little bit. So because I just go through, we have the 3 years already start the online program since during COVID. So we know what to do and we have very confident and we improve. So last meeting, I appreciate, everybody's the advice. So we more updated our curriculum to be safe. So this time, so as a 3 years experience, we have our students graduate and then get a license and then now success legally working at salon, or they have on shop and salon, and then we continue to do that. And also we have we always contacting, it's not like YouTube, not only one way. We have always contact, and then we always care about the students. So next page we have, actually we want to introduce the last March we have the event Blooming Success. So this event is for our graduates, and we care. It's not like taking customer and then give the transcript, not like that. So we very, very care about, students for future after graduate. So this event is very, very, success, and then, we invite, spa owner, salon, hotel spa, small business administrator, director, or the demonstration, and then we share a lot, and then some graduate speech, what they're doing now after graduate teaching. So that the online student also speech for our current student. So we very, very here, and then I want to continue this event pretty often. So I just want to share about our event. And also, and then now, what happened is, at the school, I hear a lot of things, the people doesn't have license and then do work, especially at last station, do at home, because we have Irish extension class in person, but we don't take, we don't accept if people doesn't have the esthetician license. So because no sense to teach for just the IELTS extension part without the esthetician license. So we also care about, we don't want to make it misunderstand student. We teach IELTS extension class only, and then no esthetician license, and then student misunderstand and open up salon or do at home. So we want to avoid that. And then why people does that? Then because it's 4 months to, if no online, then student have to come to the campus 4 months about 2 times. And then after that, after graduate, and then right now is, the issue the license probably another 3 or 4 months. Takes 3 or 4 months to get the license, take the test and get the license. So total like 7 months. It's really hard to, change their career, and without, they need to work, especially Hawaii, the living cost is very high. So we want to help, and people need our program, I believe. And then so, and then also, yeah, so yeah, people have the family and people have full time, so those people cannot attend it. So they need our program. And also opportunity, so a lot of opportunity, a lot of spa or salon, they're looking for the, the technician, esthetician, and but no, it's really hard to get the license without, the main job. So we own the salon, beauty salon, beauty nail shop, and the esthetician shop. I know the school facility is only for students, not professional salon combined. So we have the nail shop in separate location inside those working. So we hire almost like 20 technicians, including online students. So we know what we teach to the online student is same education they will learn from our online students. And then if we need to improve online programs, we always, as a salon owner, I can, the advice, and then, improve the curriculum, improve the skill also. So our main goal is not just, finish the hour. We very care about after graduate and we get the job right away, get the skill right, good skill to start working. That's our main goal. So we always communicate with someone owner, someone manager, and then what they looking for. So also our online program is combined that. So it's not one way. I'm sorry, I repeat saying, but it's not one way. And also last time I mentioned a little bit about high school dropout rate. That's also helped. I just joined the last week career fair for high school students. So they're very excited to start. You know, if they don't have the high school diploma, they cannot take the exam. So I want to really motivate themselves. So we want to help that for an online program. And then also license. Yes, sorry.
Okay, and then I'll just go briefly over the safety issue and just comment starting. The system is not a cheap, actually, it's not a cheap system. You need to invest a lot to make the system work. And my client has put a lot of hours and a lot of funds into this project because she believes that it works. And the primary concern may be safety issue. And I would just address the safety issue and detail.
For just a moment, go ahead and stop sharing screen now, Mia, okay? Because they don't want the rest of it to be public information.
Yes.
So please stop sharing. Thank you. Okay, now I'm listening.
Okay. Now, as to the safety, first, there's a safety level is that everything is it's like a game, and you have to pass certain tests to go to the next level. That makes sure that students are taught and they understand before they go to the next level. So, for example, before we go to the mannequin, the system is actually there's going to be a live test by somebody's going to oversee the test and approve, and so to get to the mannequin level, and then the next level may be the family members or practical application on the family member, and that has to be approved also to get to the level, and then we go to the clinical level, and that has to be also approved. So there's a approval in every procedure. And then the next safety procedure that's in is that the types of the mud, oil, gel, cream, sarin, wax, cleanser, mask that we use. We make sure that we check everything with the MSDS, material safety data sheet. And we make sure that they are not hazardous material. We make sure that they are non-reactive material. We make sure that they are non-toxic material. So the risk of having risk of being hurt from these materials is very low, although we understand that they are risk. And we also teach the client in the theory courses what to do. And based on our material safety data sheet. Remember, we're not nurses or doctors. So actually, if the instructor goes and handle it a particular way, it may not be appropriate without a nursing or a doctor's license. So the only thing that the school should do is advise according to the material safety data sheet. And basically in our theory, we teach, first aid protection measures. For example, if there's something goes into the eye, flush with cold water for 15 minutes. And if the irritation develops, seek medical advice. If there's an ingestion, drink plenty of water to dilute the whatever that you have ingested. Try not to do vomiting and just seek medical advice. Ask the skin if there's irritation or a rash develop. Just wash the whatever substance with soap and water and discontinue the use of that substance. If the rash persists, go seek medical advice. And if there's an inhalation, just move to a better place so that you will not inhale any toxic substance. And those fundamental are taught in the theory class, as well as when you do the practical theory class. And the students are going to be reminded that. Now, we don't use chemical peels in this course. And because for the very reason that it's online, and so that to avoid any potential risk, we don't use high frequency cleansing using the EMS. So we don't use those to make sure that there's no problem, because that may be more technical. So we make sure that the material we use is very safe, and we teach all these things to the student. And possible maybe yes, we use waxes, we use hot waxes and soft waxes. There could be burns. That's always a possibility. But thinking overall, is that any different from cooking using oil? If we cook, yes, there's risk of burn. But the question is the risk of using wax so hazardous that we should really restrict it? And you got to have a teacher to a live person right next to you. I don't think so, because using wax is common, and to be honest, ladies use it all the time. Person in their individual house, and they know how to use it most of the time. So, and other risks that I see is potential allergies, but that's very individually oriented, and and so there may be allergies, but it's not safe for everybody, and those people actually themselves know what they're allergic to. So if they look at the ingredients of what kind of material, and these MS data sheets are given to the students, so that they could check that it's whatever free of whatever they're allergic to. So safety procedure is pretty much intact, and we've been updating it, constantly updating that to address any problem. Remember, all the practical courses may include very exotic newly developed courses, but those are not included in this program. There may be included in a separate program, but these are for just getting licensed. Whatever the license, in order to get the license, whatever these like chemical peeling, they're not. My understanding is that they're not required. So we could safely formulate an online program with MSD data, no toxic, no reactive material, and students' safety are pretty much assured. Although I said, there may be allergies, there may be certain mistakes in handling, and we already addressed that, how to handle those.
Thank you very much. We went a little over, so are there questions from the board?
I do have a question. I hear what you're saying. I want online to be accessible. My main concern is the safety of the human being they're practicing on, whether it be a family member or not. If it is a family member, My concern is, yes, the liability waiver, but in your liability waiver, is it the school that is covered, or is it both the school and the student that is covered? Because I've seen people, luckily not in my family, knock on wood, that I've seen family members sue other family members. So my concern is the safety of the person and the liability of the student, because the student doesn't know everything yet. And that's where it's the safety part that concerns me about doing any services on a human being when they are not in the school. So that's one of my things. And you explained about waxing. Women use waxing on themselves. Yes, of course we do waxing on ourselves, but we also check the temperature. So if it's too hot, we will not put it on us. But a student doing it on someone else might not think it's hot for them, but it is hot for somebody else. You know, there's things you learn through the trade. And saying that cooking, there are things that can happen when you're cooking. Cooking does not require a license to be done in the professional field. Going to school is a great asset to it, but it's not required like it is for our industry. And then I also had a question about high school students. Are you accepting non-graduated high school students at 16? I understand 16 is the grade, but that is if they have a GE license or they get their GED. They can go into school, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you guys trying to create a system in the schools, or where they come to your school not being graduated?
When 16 years old, they can start school, right?
No. You need to you need to have your diploma.
A diploma, but we can motivate to graduate. So that when we go to the career fair, you know, if they couldn't finish, then, you know, they cannot go exam, so we just motivate.
Well,
So motivation is different than enrolling in your school. The new statute 439A says that to begin beauty school, you have to be at least 16 years of age and have an education equivalent to the completion of high school. So a GED or a high school diploma. That's to go to your school. So the question Ms. Hall had was, are you enrolling people who are 16 but do not have their high school diploma or GED yet?
no.
Or are you just motivating them that you want to finish high school so you can enroll?
Yeah, everything I want to follow the state law.
No, this is just a future project which doesn't exist yet. So it's just the proposal that she was working with the Department of Education people to formulate a program. So you could just ignore it because it's not part of the online program and stuff. So, but we were thinking of combining the online program with the student, you know, assuming that the Department of Health Education is okay with it, to integrate them, because they wanted to increase their students to remaining in high school. But this is not a, this is not on the table for approval. So you can just ignore it, but it's just a future plan. She was just mentioning how this program could be expanded and have potential for future.
I'm excited about that. I truly am. For you to have that in the high schools, I have been talking about trade schools being in high schools for many years, and I agree with you. And I don't think we could vote on this due to the fact that it is in your paperwork right now, and that it's stating this is what you're asking, you know, this is what you're looking for in your paperwork.
No, what we were asking for was what was in the second page of we didn't ask for approval of the
and so my concern is I have no problem with you using mannequins while they're not in your school. If they're doing it on a mannequin, no problem at all. But when it comes to a human being, whether it be a family member or not, it is the safety requirements. It's safety for me. And you not being with a licensed instructors makes me nervous.
How about if it was online for family members? Online, if you have an online, basically, if you're connected to video. And you do have an instructor, but not he or she physically there.
We can make sure to be live.
We could change the program as to the family members included, just like the clinical portion that we're asking. We have an online teacher supervisor, but not physically in there.
But not having a teacher there how quickly can the student who's doing it online prevent any injury or anything happening? And also I want to ask is who certifies the location of where the student is doing this?
Well, the location of the instructor is going to be from operating from the school, but the student will be connected online, and they were actually.
And where is this location? Is it the student's home?
Yes.
Could be home.
Yeah.
So who certifies the location as far as being properly adequate to do what the student has to do online?
So we check, that's what we do live. So we check before our system, before start, they have to, just like the exam, check all the camera, they check to show us and make sure it's clean, and then we can start. If not, then we're not gonna pass. It's not, like automatically checkpoint. We have to check every single thing before we start.
So the instructor will look at the visual of the camera's location, looking all around the area, and the instructor that's online would say, okay, you're good to go.
Yeah. Same like other, the exam, like SAT, SAT, they all check every, things, make sure it's right, and then they start. Otherwise, we're not gonna let them start. Because the person who wants is not has, the public, they want to learn. They have to follow our rule and regulation. If they don't follow, then we're not gonna accept it.
May I follow up on your question?
So every person who attends the school has to set up a mini esthetician shop in their house. Who's to say they're going to just take the test, get the license, and not stay and continue to work out of their house? It doesn't seem like it's slowing down unlicensed activity, because houses can't be licensed for them to work in. It's encouraging unlicensed activity.
Also, can a house be considered an education area?
Well,
Yes, the house.
I just see it. I'm sorry.
The house is place for you where to learn. From even you go university, you still have to study from your home. That's the place to study.
There's a difference between studying and doing practical.
So I understand what you're trying to say, online courses, nursing students, whatever, but they actually do have to be in a facility. The licensed technicians, when you get your license for your school, you have to submit a layout plan, a blueprint of your whole school and where things are going to be done, how things are, like where is your sink, where is your tables, what room has what. And that's not happening if your students are doing services on human beings at home. They're not in a facility that we've approved. They're not in, a location that has been licensed, and that's a concern. That's why I'm not opposed to them practicing on mannequins at their home. I am opposed, it concerns me, them doing it on humans, because you as a school have had to get a license to provide this service to students. And a part of that is location, what is in your building or what is in your facility. Does that make sense?
Require for the safety issue, then is that okay? Like
I'm sorry.
Like a shop line, it's not business, but just follow like meet the require for shop like a shop license. The good ventilation and have the water and to be seen, then it's I think it's seen.
For your school, it may be okay, but for state law, it's technically not. It's not the same because they not submitted approval.
Not
Can I give it? Am I allowed to give a suggestion or, what my thought is? I don't know, to help them with this.
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking on behalf of the board.
Can I speak on behalf of a salon owner, nail technician?
Maybe not during the board meeting.
I still kind of thinking about if you apply to open a school and you have to show us your blueprints, your layouts, what's in your school to make that an operable teaching
facility.
Area, facility. But the individual home that each student has is not authorized by us, or even, I don't know if it's state law, but to operate as a teaching facility, the individual home I'm talking about. Even though you keep saying that, the safety and all this, but I still think that if you folks have to apply for your school to open a facility that has to be A-OK to run a school, that means every student home should be the same.
Well,
why do you folks have to apply for something like that?
I think it's the definition of facility in that issue. I do not think that the student's home will be considered as a facility. The teachers are in the facility teaching. It's just the communication, because they're practicing inside. I don't think the board has jurisdiction to go to individual home and say you can't do that. It's my understanding is it's without the jurisdiction does not go to the individual home. So I have a problem, and when you make an assumption that the student's house is facility, I have a problem with that, because I don't think that's how the law should be read. The law should be read, the facility is a student, and when the student comes and do their operation there, it has to clear certain sanitation requirements, make sure that there's no safety issue, or there's a place to preserve all these chemicals. And I understand that, and we have to comply with that. But when we're talking about students, actually students training themselves, and we're helping them. So I'm not sure. I don't have the law right now. I did not know that this issue was going to come up. But I think the word facility is limited to the school premise, and it doesn't go to how can we say we're going to regulate everyone's the whole somebody's house, and we have jurisdiction over that? I don't think so.
You just explained it, that their home is not monitored by us, and it's not us, it's the law that we follow. The guidelines I'm going on are the laws that you know, that we have for our industry. And part of going to school is to learn those things. And when you're not in the school itself and you're learning on your own, it's different. And I'm not opposed to this. I'm not opposed to online school. I want you folks to understand that it is completely safety for me,
But
for those students.
basically, it's not allowed to do them practice at home. It's not allowed, then it's actually not forced. It's no, right? We cannot, with no more hope to continue this topic, right? I don't know what we can safety, you know, the student safety. I very concerned about it. But we check and we like everything, and if anything not clear, then we stop them. That's I think.
Could I just follow up maybe on that? It might help. So there's rules that say you have to have at least 2 instructors and for 25 students, and then you add an instructor for each 25 students. There's rules that say neither a student nor an instructor can be in instruction for more than 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week. So how are you, if the students are coming to you, how many students are being instructed at a time live on the camera angles, with audio and visual that you can see, you can hear? How many students are you monitoring at one time? And how are you, if people can come on weekends, if they have questions and they can do this, how are you ensuring that you're staying within the law? That you're one esthetician instructor at your school, you have one instructor that has an esthetician license, that one person is not going over the 40 hours per week or 8 hours per day if the students have access over the weekends and whenever. How many people are online at one time?
We don't accept any, you know, we count it. Yeah, we control the people.
Okay, so say you have a student that hasn't reached their 40 hours a week yet, and they're doing something on a family member at their home, but they need help right away. But the instructor's already reached their 40 hours for that week. They're not allowed to work 41 hours. Who is the student supposed to go to if they have a question or there's something has happened that they say, the MSDC says I should do this, but I don't have whatever in my home? What are they supposed to do? The instructor's already off the clock. They've already done 40 hours that week. But the student is working from home on one of the modules.
We have a couple instructors.
But only one instructor has an esthetician license. Only one instructor can do esthetician.
No, I'm an esthetician too.
Who's your other esthetician?
The other instructor. We have.
I don't have.
And we have
I don't have another instructor on our records. Who's your other
instructor too?
I only show 3 instructors that are just 2 are males and 1 is an esthetician.
Because we just 2 instructors at the register.
Yeah, you have to have at least 2 for everything, for each one. For the first 25 students, you have to have 2.
Yeah.
And then you have to have another one if you go over 50. Up between 26 and 50, you need a 3rd. But a person can only instruct for the beauty license they hold, right? So a person who holds a nail technician license and an instructor license can instruct in nails. And a person who has esthetician license and an instructor license can instruct in esthetician work. But as far as I know, for the board's records, Honolulu Nail Academy has 2 instructors that are nail technicians and 1 instructor that is an esthetician. So if that one esthetician instructor has reached their 40 hours for that week, and an esthetician student has an issue, who are they supposed to turn to?
We have to be with more instructors. We have,
Oh, but they're not, we don't have record of that at the board, so we need to update that, yeah. So how many students do you have online at a time for a class? How many people is someone watching online, in a class?
so the online version is by appointment, so we can adjust it. So our school class is, one class is only, we take the 6 students. So we have more than enough to watch.
Okay.
Them.
So you would only do an appointment, like say you have students that want to do a class at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, you'd only allow 6 students to register for that online class. So so 6 is your total, that's the most you allow in one online class? Or do you allow 8 or 10?
We can, but the most of the time is not one time at the same time. So we can just make appointment, arrange it to make sure not over.
Yeah.
Because as especially, by law, 25 students, but we don't take 25 students, we cannot watch.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I was leading up to. Can you watch for temperature and cleanliness and that they're doing the stuff properly. If you're in a classroom, you can walk around and you can watch and see that people are doing things properly. But if you've got a box and you've got 6 or 7 people, it's much harder to see what that person is doing.
We don't take max. Yeah, we don't care about quality.
Okay, I gotta leave. I went 15 over, 17 over.
Should they can continue talking or they can table this first?
So we will be losing our quorum. We won't be able to vote as soon as Mr. Matura leaves. So the board can continue to discuss, but they won't be able to take a vote. If the board can table, or you can take a vote now, or you can table to discuss at the February meeting.
I think they should continue discussing this. It doesn't seem like it's just like that. And then you can fill in with the minutes, whatever you folks said. I can read that. And then we can probably make a decision in the February meeting. Would that be okay with you guys?
I think we should vote now.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay, your deputy attorney general says that'll work. Thank
I'm
you,
sorry.
Liz.
What was that?
Yes, your deputy attorney general says that's fine. They can continue to speak. And we'll continue to take notes and they'll ask questions and then you folks can table your vote until the next meeting.
Okay. Can we have a motion to table the vote?
Well, no, that we don't have a motion
Excuse
right
me.
now because Les is saying he needs to leave, but he's okay if you folks continue talking and asking questions.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you, Les. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
See
you
you
for
February.
taking that extra.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Les.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 10 minutes late.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, 15.
So if there are more questions, you can go ahead and ask.
Have you folks, because you talk about other, people on outer islands using your online service. Do you have anyone who's working at, I don't know how to question this, or make it into a question. What is the rule? I need to ask them the rules on students going to say a flagship place, or like if there was a salon on each island that they could go to for the school and then do services on do the Does the salon owner need to be an instructor?
Are you talking about they're doing their practical application in a salon?
Yes, is that legal for the school, for schools to do that? I don't know, I'm asking, is it legal for the school to say, hey, we don't have enough space in our shop right now, can we use this facility, can we use this salon with an instructor?
In that scenario, would the instructor from the school fly over to that salon to do the supervision, the instructing?
That's something, yeah, I guess, or if there was a instructor on Maui that works for the school, but she's a salon owner. Is that something in the rules that is covered? Could that be a possibility?
I think one of the cosmetology laws is, oh no, that's for schools.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking at the
clients, students are learning. A licensed person cannot do their own clients as the student while the students are learning.
So if the family member went into a salon that had an instructor that was hired by the school, could they do their practicals on Maui in a salon, or does it have to be in the school?
Well, the problem is that there has to be certain signage. This is a student.
Mm-hmm.
I am an instructor.
Okay.
All services are going to be done by a student. It would be difficult. I think you could, there might be work around it, but it would be difficult.
But not impossible.
Well, the problem is that the new statute says that students are in schools.
Okay.
Okay. Apprentices are in shops.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it would take more than the time we have now to go into the weeds of that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be something we table and talk with our DAG about at a later date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there other questions for our presentation?
No, I don't have any more.
With no other questions, I think it's time to adjourn the meeting. We'll carry this over with wrong.
Sorry, I'm thinking notes here. So is that what the board would like to table this until the February meeting then, table decision making until the February meeting?
We need to, yes, a motion to table till February.
Okay.
So I want to make sure. So I was, even though the school check on their room to be safe, but there is no exception. Is that right?
We can't make that decision now.
Because they've lost their quorum, so they cannot vote. Okay, so that's what they had discussed earlier, is that Mr. Moran has to leave.
Yeah.
So he said that they could continue to ask the questions, and get more information, and then table their decision making until Mr. Moran is back, or until they have quorum, next month, hopefully, next meeting, hopefully. But then Renette Hall had some questions, so.
I think there are two issues, so maybe it's easier in the is issues regarding the mannequin, maybe there's no issue on that point. And then as to the online, there may be issues, so, you know, if it's easier to just do the mannequin part.
That's it, we can't do anything.
I understand.
Yeah,
So I'm talking about the next, because maybe we could have, go on the first issue first and dispose that and leave that online. So maybe next time you know, we could do it that way, it's attractive. But I think they've been waiting for us.
If the question on the agenda is to do the mannequin and the license model on a family member, and the board considers that and decides to approve the possible application on mannequin only, are they allowed to do that decision? Is that
Good,
okay?
but just not now.
Right, no, I want to make sure that the request is this, but they could approve something.
Right, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Because basically, depending on what the board decides, we can kind of alter the program. You know,
Yeah, let's see.
right, so we can save time and get at least the mannequin part going, that's what I think, that's the law.
You know, in your school, you have to have all this equipment now. For every 25 students, you have 3 shampoo bowls, 3 dryers, 3 reclining chairs, all these things. Do the students all have these in their homes? They all have a shampoo bowl, they all have a dryer, they all have, or they don't need that for. But you folks maintain, do they purchase their own mannequin or do you give them a mannequin to use? Okay.
They purchase.
So do they purchase all of their sanitary things? Okay, so that's part of their tuition. That they, supplies, and then you give that to them, okay. Is there any equipment that you, give them, like, something that has to be, maintained? I don't know, you know, when you do nails and you're doing, the gel, that equipment that they do those kind of, there's stuff like that thing you do for esthetician. You issue them that kind of equipment? No, okay. Okay. Sorry, board members, I just saw that when we had discussed the equipment required, I just wanted to make sure I understood that.
Oh.
And then, the school, the facility, which they're maintaining the school facility, according to the rules, is the room or rooms where the work is done on customers, right? And in this case, the facility, if the student is doing the work on a customer, or in your case, you refer to them as a family member, that is in their home. The facility is now their home according to this rule. Okay? And the board had concerns because they don't have jurisdiction to just walk into a private residence, but they do have jurisdiction to walk into a licensed facility. Out of the school that is licensed. So I think that's what you folks were mentioning earlier. So they're in the facility, which is now their private residence. And the instructor, if I understand this correctly, before they start practicing, the student will pan the room for all the angles and you can see it. Is this done every day that they practice? Okay. So it's done every day that they practice. Sorry, in case you can't see, I'm not sure how far the camera goes. In our room, we're using a very small screen, so you're very small at that far end of the table. So there is, and do they do this, most of it is daily, or do they do it weekly, or kind? It's really depends, but okay. And do they do this only when they work on a live model, or do they also do that when they work on a map? For the panning the room, to make sure that it's still clean, there are no animals present, there's no children running around.
The video, before they have to show the room first and then start and then talk to everyone. Record yourself and talk, which chapter, and then start every video.
Okay, so in this proposal that you're brought to the board is that it would be a live. You said would it be okay if they were live, right? Not record and then let someone
The
watch.
mannequin part is
Yeah,
the
okay, so the mannequin part would still be recorded. And so the instructor won't see the room for the mannequin part until after they've already performed it. So they won't know if there were children around or sanitation issues until after they've already done their work. But with the live model, you're saying, before they can work on the live model, the instructor will have to look at all the angles and say, okay.
But if the video, the mannequin is dot around, we don't pass.
Oh,
So
okay,
they cannot get next step.
okay, so if afterwards, yeah, we know it's then, okay. And then, I know that each school must maintain a library of books relating to TV culture, and students earlier. So the students, is that library for you folks electronic as well as hard copy?
If you have the system, can download it, all the MSDS and then all the percussion, everything.
Sorry, thank you, board members. Any other questions?
Can I ask where a majority of your students that are online, where are they located? Are they on Oahu, Maui, Big Island? Do you have those numbers?
I don't have the exact number.
Where is but do you have an idea of where the majority of your students are?
Not Honolulu, it's very, because if it's Honolulu, I always, the come to the campus first choice. That's the first choice. So most of like other island or far from our facility.
There's no one island that's majority of your you must have look, where is your most popular location for online services or class?
So far from our facility.
No, I know. So which island has the most, or which, is it out of state, or is it?
Yeah, I think I don't think she wants to answer that, just because it's, trade secret about what the market share is, and it goes to, she doesn't want,
I don't have the number right now.
She doesn't have, she said she doesn't have the number either, but she doesn't just doesn't want to disclose that, but it's relates to business other than plastic.
Well, I think the reason they're asking is because, you folks have stated previously that it's necessary, the state needs this, because people in the state need this. You mentioned the last time, I think, so that's why I believe she's asking, it stems from that, is she's asking, so where are the majority of your students who are requesting this online? Where are they located when they're online?
Maui, Big Island, some Hawaii, but not, it's
Do you have any coming from out of state, like from the mainland?
not really.
Or other countries?
No.
So the possibility of a teacher going to them, if it is all in island, is not crazy. Right? I mean, island hopping is not as expensive as going to the mainland. I understand that. So if you wanted this to work where an instructor was there for these students, it's not impossible for that to happen. If your majority of your students are on Big Island or Kauai, you could designate a day for them to go over as guidance.
Maybe if that, then so
I'm sorry, what was it? I couldn't understand.
we can fly, but where is the facility to teach?
Well, but for the safety of the student and whoever they're doing the procedures on, having an instructor physically there makes a difference. That was my concern, is that when you don't have an instructor near you or with you when you're working on someone, you don't have that knowledge that's there to help you. You don't have somebody with the experience there to guide you, because they are recording, they are sending it to you, they are on a camera, it is on delay. Whether, you know, even now when we talk, there may be a 2-second delay for somebody to put something hot or something, you know, that can cause burning or even eye damage. Someone physically there can say, oh, not that, stop. But when there's a delay on online services, you may not have that ability. So that's why if your students are on outer islands, I'm trying to give you hope here. Like, and seeing, you know, where you could go with this so that we don't have to say no. But according to the rules and regulations that we have, it's a lot harder for us.
Well, if the instructor goes to, say, on an island, there has to be a licensed facility, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna entail a lot of, you know, additional procedures and I think from the student's standpoint, I think, you know, the benefit of the online is that they could work at home, because they may have like other commitments, family commitments. They might have a baby, they might have to work. And so the whole idea was to offer them, you know, save them, you know, an alternative method, or else they're gonna have to quit their job and come to, you know, go to school, and not a lot of people can afford that. And I think that, and then you did talk about risk, but you know, if somebody's online looking at it, yeah, maybe there's a 2-second delay. That's so much different. I'm not sure in practicality will that additional delay of 2 seconds or 3 seconds will be permanent. I'm not saying that, you know, there could be a scenario like that, but the possibility of that happening is very unlikely.
Yeah, that's why we have the checkpoint every single step. So start with monitoring and step by step and check. So by the time they're taking taking the model, real person, they already should know. If they don't know, they don't pass before the procedure. So that's why we have, it's not automatically pass and then just jump into the process. We check. Actually, we check one-on-one, so it's more, we have to spend more time for them in a one-on-one and make sure they okay, then they go to the next step. So if something happens that with the model, then you know they know what to do, and then video we have to watch, you know, how to avoid, and every single video they have to watch, and then we have to unlock the video next step. So it's to be honest, to us, our system, it's very hard to, you know, monitor. So we cannot take that much student, not, you know, apply and then we take, not like that. We have to limit it. So then otherwise we cannot check every single step and make sure it's safe. So it's not gonna happen like, you know, all of a sudden, you know, oh, something happened. They already know that point, what to do. At the salon, at the school too, we start with mannequin and start, and then when instructor accept next step, otherwise they don't take client. We're not gonna allow to take the client. So same thing, we need to check every single step and then they go up and then graduate.
I'm
So-
curious, what number do you limit it to? Each teacher, when they're doing the online training, how many students do they have?
So it
Not
depends on the live students, so we have to have the appointment book. So we have to have the limit. Because some people start from the theory online, so they can do online, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time for the practical, we have to have managed for the limit. Make sure we monitor them.
So how many do you limit it to? What is the number you use?
Or 25, right?
Just 5. Wow.
She said by law 25.
25.
Oh, 5 is law. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna be less. Because we want to make sure, but by law 25.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So we, we make sure monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to get the student want to get the license. It's not like we force them to learn. So they have to follow what we, our system. So if they don't follow, we not accept it. So we're not gonna just take it and then just practice and then pass. Not like that. We want to make sure, repetition is very important too, right? So and then make sure, they, happy to graduate and then they get the job right away. So we want to do that. That's why we want to have the events, share after graduating and share, and then, the share information, have all the, the graduate work together. We don't have to make this event after graduate, but we want to make sure, they all success. So we're not gonna just let them do and, have some injury or something. No, we wanna make sure, they want to get the license and then they wanna work right away, have the skill. And then sanitation disinfection is very important, so our students get with everything included, so they don't have to practice anything. So, and then we have the video how to use it, sanitation disinfection, barbicide, how to mix barbicide, how to, the store all your implements. So everything is, that's why it's called checkpoint system, every multi-checkpoint system. So everything check is not like one-way YouTube. So we have to have a lot of work. So I know we cannot take 25 students. It's a lot. But we arrange it, adjust it. And if we need more instructors, we will, train more instructors. But for now, I want to make sure this program, program is works
acceptable.
I mean, it works 3 years, it's no problem, and then the graduates already start working and making money. So, but right now it's stopped it. So I just that we cannot continue. Then a lot. So that's why we want to try continue to get approved and think about safety. So from last meeting, everybody advice about live and, you know, the safety issues, so, you know, I adjusted. So hopefully, you know, I know it's hard to explain, but I hope you understand my point. And safety, make sure it's in the safety.
Well, at this point, we can't vote on anything, so I appreciate you explaining from your, yeah, everything. So. What, at this point, what are we, because I'm done asking questions, because we can't vote on any.
So is it time to adjourn the meeting?
So, thank you so much. But, did you have anything else? If the board will bear with me, in your presentation, you mentioned, pure nails and beauty. You might want to double check with Greg, because we show that the trade name for Honolulu Nails is Pure Nails, not N Beauty. So make sure that you have your trade name listed correctly and that it matches your advertising, etc. Because when I saw that name, I was like, we have nothing registered as Pure Nails and Beauty. So if that's the name of your shop, you need to put in a shop license. But if it's Pure Nails, you need to make sure that the signage matches, okay? I think that was the last thing that I had. So if there are no other questions, Chair?
No other questions. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Are we done?
Thank you so much.
Can I move to, yes, thank you very much for all of your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Morano will have the recording as well. It won't just be on our notes. So it will hear the conversation. Thank you.
And we'll adjourn the meeting at 2:32.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Everyone.